Hey, welcome back to the show, pals. Today, well, I'm mad. Let's start there. But today, Monk is missing. He's off chasing the winds somewhere in Pennsylvania. And we got a special creator on today. We got Travis Gibb, who has written one of my favorite series out right now, Granite State Punk. Well, can you call it a series? I guess it's a series, but they're all one-shots.
Yeah, they're all one-shots. But as you pointed out, as they get more and more, you kind of need the older ones to go, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, dude, I'm so glad you came on the show. Just little backstory. Last week, I was kind of getting to my deadline if I need to start asking people to fill in for Monk, and you, like on the live air, were just like, "Hey, let me do it." I'm like, "Yes, please do." So happy to have you on.
Happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So do you want to do a little introduction for yourself for the people that maybe haven't heard your interview with us?
Yeah. So I'm Travis Gibb. I'm a comic creator. I self-publish most of my stuff through Kickstarter, through Orange Cone Productions. However, I do have some direct market stuff. I do a book called Granite State Punk, which is talked about from Scout Comics. I do another book called Judas from Band of Bards. But yeah, I'm a creator. I create lots of books. I create tons of books for some you've never heard of.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you came on last time, you sent over quite a bit of your stuff, and I've enjoyed everything that I've read. The holiday specials. So do you put together those holiday specials?
I do, yeah. We put together 2 anthologies a year for the company. We have Cthulhu Invades, a series called Cthulhu Invades Oz, Neverland, and Wonderland, and then we have Holiday Spirits, which is a separate one. Yeah, and that's actually in the direct market too. It's just Holiday Spirits 1 came out in December. Yeah,
right on. And then, gosh, what was that other one of yours? Broke Down and
we're doing For Dead Bodies. Yeah. You know, crime noir. In fact, we're going to Kickstarter later on the month with a sequel to that. With I know your pal Jonathan Hendrick is in it. He did a story with it. So
yeah, no, and man, yeah, you and Jonathan are 2 of my favorite indie creators. Just we've started up a friendship with you guys as well, but just the collaboration that we have, conversation we have with guys, whether it's on here, on Instagram, and just also just the content you guys put out. It's wonderful. It's just good to have you guys as part of the Pullbox Pals in a extended way.
Well, I love being a pal. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about the Vegas trip. You drop a little nugget every last few episodes. I'm excited to learn about Vegas. I assume that's where Monk is. He gets so jealous. He's in Vegas right now.
I think he said he was playing a show tonight with his band, but I think he's probably going off to Vegas just to live up the life like I did. But yeah, all I'll say about Vegas, because I think people have heard enough, is it was super fun, and I can't wait to go back with I told my wife next time we go, it's just you and me, and we're gonna live up the Vegas.
So I've been to Vegas twice, but I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah,
I've been to the airport twice for decent stays, but I've never got out and gone to the Strip. But I've had layovers in the airport twice, and gambled at the airport. But that's my extent of my Vegas trip. So I can't say I've never been to Vegas, but I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, the first time that I went to Vegas, I just drove through it. It was late at night, and I saw the lights, and it looked like a cool town. And so it's I've been to Vegas, but I haven't been to Vegas.
Right.
There's a huge difference. But yeah, no, Vegas is fun. I've caught myself dancing this little jig that the Blue Man Group kept doing. At one point during the show, they had the the airplane navigating lights.
Yeah.
And they were just pointing at people to do things. They kept doing this weird little jig every time they'd point at people, and it's been living in my head since. And so I keep catching myself doing it. So that's what I brought home from Vegas. No
Yeah,
big
I've
winnings,
seen the
just
Blue
little
Man Group
jig.
here in Orlando, and I've never been inspired to dance after. So it's
Yeah. And then here's, me showing my unawareness. We grew like our generation grew up watching like the Blue Man Group like thrive. They were everywhere. They're in commercials, like they were having movie spots. They even like wrote the soundtrack for some movies or helped with it in some way. um I always assumed it was the same three guys. I did not know that they were like in others. I knew they had a Vegas show, but I did not know that there's like shows all over the world that are the Blue Man Group. And so my wife had like read this whole article about how they like vet out good people to be that talent and how they perform with like a live audience as well. It's super neat. Like I love what they do, and I don't care that it's not the same three guys.
yeah, it's fascinating, and every show's different too. Like there's a cusp, but like if you go to Vegas or Orlando, there's different. Like a middle part is all different, kind of allowing their own creativity in too. And then I think they
Yeah.
have seasons like this year they're doing this, and next year they're doing this, and kind of like a
Yeah.
circuit type of thing.
No, it's crazy. Well, yeah, you already kind of mentioned it, but you have a new Coins of Judas that's live on Kickstarter right now. Is that correct?
It's live on Kickstarter and live in preview. So if
Oh,
you're,
right.
I know a lot of people, pull box people, we're pullbacks pals. So if you want it at your comic store, Coins of Judas a Gamble, you can go ahead and order it. It'll be this month and next month. So you order it for this month. The release date should be, it'll be June. So it'll be
Awesome.
early June and July for 1 and 2. But if you don't want to wait and you want the whole thing, we have a collected edition exclusively to Kickstarter that we're doing. It'll have 4 extra pages. It'll have we have like a Marvel superhero guide of each of the demons that have been, where they're kind of their origin stories, their first appearances, all that kind of guide there. So we've done a soft cover and a hardcover over there, very inexpensive, very affordable from the publisher. We kind of did it all at the same time, just to see how it works. There's a different audience that goes in the comic stores and they go on Kickstarter. They're 2 different types of people, 2 different audience sets. We want to make sure we got it to everyone who wants it. So.
No, that's awesome. And then I'm also getting ahead of myself. We'll come back to talking about Coins of Judas, but we need to chat our polls. This is what we're here for.
Yeah. I'm super embarrassed by my polls compared to you. I saw your little video that you did on polls, and you got way more indies than I, and I write indies, so that was a weird reality.
That's all right, man. You pick up what you want every Wednesday. I hold no judgment to what other people pick up. If I hate the series, I'm glad you enjoy it. If I love the series and you love it, even better. So
all right, I'm ready.
All right. Yeah, let's see what you got today.
All right. You want me to go first, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start out with we're gonna start out top of the stack. I got Carnage. This series, even if you haven't been reading the Hall stuff, if you were a Donny Cates fan, you left because Donny Cates was gone, which I think tons of people did.
Yeah.
This arc right here, this Separatus Necrus, is Carnage versus Venom, and it's really, really good, really well written. In fact, this is the best. It's Thora Gormbeck, who I haven't really loved anything she's done. Like I've enjoyed it, but I've never loved it. Right? You're like, oh, that's a good comic, but like. I don't need a trade of it, but this is the exception. Like this has been top notch. This battle, she really gets the 2 characters and deep cuts for the origin. If you're a 90s kid like me, like they're back at the church of the original like
nice.
classic stuff. And they bring up, Anna, Venom's ex-wife, and like all these deep cuts, Carnage and Venom. So highly recommend.
That's awesome. And what issue was that?
This is issue 5 of Carnage.
Okay, so
but there's a crossover between Carnage and Venom, so you could just buy the crossover. It's I think it's going to be 4 parts of them fighting.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Now I've been trying to get back into a little more Marvel reading lately. So I'm going to take that up as a recommendation.
You're going to learn a lot about Marvel today, my friend.
Oh yes.
All right, am I keep going, or it's your turn, right?
Oh, you keep going. You go through your whole list, and then I'll go through mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get this one for my wife. I don't want to get you demonetized. Not that you're making money, but
yeah.
people can read it, what it is, but it's I Hate Fairyland, Scotty Young.
It's got that
I
nice
get these.
variant.
Yeah, I get this variant. This is my favorite variant. I get them for my wife. My wife's a huge Scotty Young fan.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it as well.
That is a really fun series. If you have not picked up I Hate Fairyland in like any volume of it, I don't even think you need to read the volumes in order.
No.
It's just Scotty Young does such a great job just with the whole story, the way that he displays it with the pen and ink and the art, like just fantastic.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, and
Yeah.
it's really, really fun. Which comics. So many of our comics that we enjoy are so deep these days. We want this. Oh, I want this deep plot, and then I want a monster. And this thing. It's fun to just go. No, comics can just be fun. It's okay. It's no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've really enjoyed that series. I've been getting the volumes as my library has gotten them in. So
yeah. I got Ultimate Black Panther 2. The Ultimate Universe is really good. Black Panther was amazing. It's in this particular in the Ultimate Universe, they're fighting. The X-Men are half joined with them, so like Storm and crew are joined with them, which is kind of odd. But they're fighting Moon Knight. They're fighting
nice.
the Moon. So they're their god versus the Moon Knight god, which is pretty cool. So the
That's
Panther
awesome.
god versus the Moon Knight god, which is pretty cool.
I really do like Moon Knight. I'm actually reading Vengeance of the Moon Knight right now. I think
Jed McKay stuff's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. But like, I think a Moon Knight cameo in a series is one of my favorite things. It's just like if he shows up in Spider-Man or if he's showing up in Captain America, like wherever he shows up, like always seems like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'll always remember that. Have you ever read I don't remember what issue it is, but the Moon Knight and Punisher where they meet?
Yeah.
Where it's like, your kid's still dead. Yeah. You still crazy. Yeah. Like this.
No, I think I have that run, I believe.
I can't remember what it is, but I have it too. But it's fun.
Yeah. And then how many did you get in total today?
I'll go faster.
Oh no, dude. No, you're fine. You told me you're going to school me in some Marvel today. So.
Yeah, I got Masterpiece. I know this is a week late. I think it came out last week or the week before. But I love Bendis when he does just crime stuff. Like I don't tend to like. It took me a while to figure it out, but like if he tries sci-fi and stuff like that, I don't dig it. It has to be super grounded for me to love Bendis. And this is another super grounded. It's about this young girl. Her parents were huge thieves, and they stole a bunch of money. And this guy believes she knows where it's from. She's been hiding forever. They found out who she was because she posted on TikTok, and they're trying to figure out if she knows where the money is. So pretty good.
Monk's not reading? I think one of the guys over at Comic Book Lair might be reading that, or maybe our pal Ross. Somebody else is reading that. Yeah,
it's really good. Like I said, I tend to only like his crime or his like straight up like people stuff. Like if he goes too sci-fi or things like that, I tend to not dig it. But
right on.
I'm on the road to 150. I love me some TMNT.
Nice.
Beautiful. I get the Eastman covers every time. This back cover is actually pretty cool. I think that's the cover for 150. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah. So do you have every issue?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've everything.
Yeah.
No,
I regret. I had the first I think 25 issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I sold them all. But because I had also I had taken a break in collecting for a while.
Are you talking IDW or Mirage?
IDW.
Okay.
Yeah. But like even then, still like those early issues of that they're pretty nice to have in the collection. But I've also just wished that I had kept some more like full runs of things and not like piece things out or gotten rid of them in any capacity. And that's one of my regrets is getting rid of the IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm working on trying to collect the Mirage and the Archie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh wow! All right, I've got all of it from the Mirage and stuff. Not always in the best printings or whatever, but I have it all. Yeah.
No, that's something too that I actually like. I learned from. I think I don't know if I could say I learned this from you, but appreciating like lower quality comics. It was just something that you said about actually I'm going to talk about it later. Crimson. You said anytime you see the series Crimson,
57,
you
yeah.
you pick it up. Yeah. Um, and I can imagine if you're just picking it up every time, you're not going to care about like its condition as much as like just actually having it. And I do have some issues in my collection that are like not in the best condition, but a lot of those ones are like very, very old and like from the 50s and 60s. But like having something in the 80s and 90s and just through the modern era, it's like I want all of those to be as crisp as I can have them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to let go of a lot of that.
Yeah, it's tough. I recently at a convention was sitting across from Jeff Loeb. Did I talk
Yeah,
about this
yeah.
last time he was here?
Uh, if you did, let's give us a little
All
refresher.
right. So there was a book called Kaboom that they had. No, I don't think I did because Granite State Punk hadn't come out. It was out then, and I talked to you guys before Granite State Punk cover came out. And I like a book called Kaboom. Probably never heard of it. It's an awesome comics Rob Liefeld book. It's Jeff Loeb and Jeff Matsuda. So Matt's Battle
Okay.
Chase with Jeff Matsuda, and it's about this kid who has these giant gauntlets, and basically he gets them on his 16th birthday, and everyone just wants to get these gauntlets. All these little crazy Jeff Matsuda design little monsters like hunt him, and I
Huh.
just love it. It's bad. Actually, my wife just bought me the trade for Valentine's Day. It's
Oh,
bad. It's
nice.
not good, but it's so important to me. And I had him sign it, and he was like, I left one in a bag, and he's like, well, do you want me to sign that one too? I was like, and I took it out and I showed him that it's ripped off. I was like, no, I've read this one so much that it's but it's so funny because I paid $20 to get it signed, and it makes it worth $7, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not stuff. And he signed them all. It was really nice. For the $20, he signed all of them because he knows I'm not flipping his book, right? It's
Yeah.
literally a passion of it. And it's the only one I've been able to get my daughter to read, like of regular comics. My daughter loves manga, which is
Oh,
super strange
nice.
to me, because I have so much comics. I'm like, get anything. I have something for everything. I have everything. And she's just like, no, I like manga, but she read that. So just a neat little book, and it was a neat little story. But it's like I said, it's so warm to me, and I just love it so much.
I'm checking it. Yeah, I'm checking out some of the covers.
Yes, it's with a
Jeff
K.
Jeff Jeff Loeb and
Yep.
Jeff Meseta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's just a fun series.
I'll have to check that out. Because yeah,
You may be able to find it in a dollar box if you look for it. It's not crazy, but that's before Long Halloween or any of the cool stuff that Jeff Loeb's known for.
yeah,
Red
yeah. No, that's awesome.
Next up, I got Amazing Spider-Man. I love me
Nice.
some
I love
Spidey.
that cover. That's a rad cover.
It is a rad cover. Let me see. Hold on. I gotta see if I want to. What's up?
Is he like bleeding from the mouth? Like what's coming out of?
He is bleeding. But I've read this issue because I needed to read a few before we met, and that doesn't happen in the issue. So I don't know what's going on there.
Monk would be mad.
Oh, he doesn't like covers where the interior doesn't match.
Yeah, like if it's not alluding, like I don't know if that's fair to say, but like for him, I feel like feel like he was tricked, thinking, "Oh,
Right.
he's gonna bleed in this." And so, if you're gonna put something on the cover,
He needs to bleed.
like, yeah, we need to see some blood. So,
Well,
yeah,
does
Monk
that apply to variants? Like if they do a variant or no?
I think it's just with like cover A.
Cover A, yeah. Well, and I do that. I want to make sure, like me as a creator, but
yeah,
I got Transformers 6.
Man, everybody's reading that series but me.
It's so good, and I don't care about the Transformers. Like it's never been. It wasn't one of my childhood loves or anything. I just love Darren Warren Johnson, and you give him complete control, let him write and draw. I'm gonna read it. Like,
yeah.
So do a power bomb. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah. But it's just you've probably heard me say this, so I'm just echoing. But it's like when I knew that like the Transformers and GI Joe stuff was coming out, I was just really considering like if I read one, I'm gonna have the urge to read all of them, and that's just so much to like take in across like a universe all at once, and so that's why I haven't picked it up. But I'll probably hop on the trades as they come out. So
yeah, luckily I don't care for GI Joe. I don't care, like, and I don't care for war comics. Like, you give me a Fury and the Holland Commandos, I'm not going to enjoy it. Like, so I tried the GI Joe and I was just like, nah, I really don't like it. I tried Duke, I tried Cobra Commando. I'm just like, no, like. So luckily I was. Those do not impress me at all. So luckily, giant robots, however, you can't get a giant robot.
Right on.
Sitting by Spider-Man 2099. And this book is amazing to me. It is really well written if you're a 2099 fan. Peter David's writing it. If you don't know, he's really, really sick. Like, there's GoFundMe's around, like practically on his deathbed. And he comes up with
Peter David is?
Peter David, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
And then, like, he writes an issue that's better than probably anything I'll ever write. Like, he kills it. This issue kills.
I might have to go back and grab that. I was really staring at it hard.
Were you a 2099 fan?
Yeah, I had issue 1 of Spider-Man 2099. What, like, high grades are like barely $30 right now for like the
you could buy the whole series probably for 60 if you tried hard.
Yeah. But like, I sold it at my shop and I almost immediately regretted it. And I was able to win one in an auction a couple days ago and get it back. So it's probably not the same copy that I had, but it's nice to have it back.
I've done that. I sold my Miles Morales first appearance because I needed some money to pay a printer bill. And I told the guy, I was like, I'm selling it to you specifically so I can buy it back. Meaning, I'll get you another this graded at a 9.8. I will get you another 9.8, but I want my copy. I want to know that I bought it from the shelf. It was mine. But there's a death in this. Like, spoiler, I won't tell you who, but there's a death in this of a major 2099 character. So I would call when you get off just to make sure, because once that gets announced, it's hard to tell, right? It's 2099, so maybe nobody will care, but
I'm calling as soon as we end this thing. I'm calling my shop.
Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Another one. I was looking at that too.
Yeah, Stephanie Phillips I really like. And I don't know if you know, Black Widow has a Venom costume right now, which is
no. I had read like kind of the blurb for it, and it had said like her with the same symbiote suit. Yeah,
Stephanie Phillips is really good. I love Grimm. So I'm excited to check it out.
My local comic shop, she was asking me about Grimm because like I remember reading it, but I've only read the first volume because it's at issue 14, I think.
I think it's at 15.
Yeah. And so I haven't kept up with it, but she was just talking to me about it, and then there's something else to Stephanie Phillips that I was just reading the other day. What was it? Gosh dang it.
They just announced her and Brian Azario is doing a distillery book.
Oh, nice.
No,
it's something that I read. It's something I cannot call to mind what it was, but anyways, she's excellent. Like, I haven't found anything of hers or everything of hers that I've read I've rather enjoyed.
Yeah.
So
no, she's a great creator. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan.
My wife might want me to go get that one. She's a big Ghost Rider fan too. She loves the Nick Cage movies.
Pee and fire. The Ghost Rider mantle goes to somebody else, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Haven't read it yet, but I did see the spoilers. I'm gonna skip all the Marvel to the stuff, and then we'll give you another indie and some DC.
All right.
I follow Chip. It's a great cover.
Another series I'm regretting not hopping on is Avengers Twilight.
I think you'll be okay. I think this will be better in a trade. I think it'll be better in a trade.
Okay.
A nice Chip Zdarsky trade. I think it'll read better. Because
I find that's true with a lot of Zdarsky.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I'm getting it monthly, but it's like a Dark Knight. Like, I feel like Dark Knight Returns, like, that's better as a trade. It's a great, monthly. There's just so much going on. You kind of want to know it's Earth X, all those things they're just better as trades. I think any of these, like DC versus Vampires, anything that's kind of not in continuity seems to be better in trades to me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What If Venom? You got? It's a
Is that
Venom
issue 2?
series. It's issue 2. Yep.
Oh shoot, I didn't grab that. I got issue 1.
Yeah, issue 2 came out this week. I liked issue 1, so we'll see where it goes. I love what ifs. I really still wish though that they would say it's what if what, you know?
Yeah.
like what if Cosmic Cube? What if, you know?
Yeah.
What if Venom goes, what if Venom? Well, what is Venom doing?
Yeah. What about him?
What is this? Fall of X? House X?
Okay.
I'm reading that. I'm not loving this. I'm kind of happy Krakoa is going away, but I'm gonna stick to the landing. It's so hard to compare it to Hickman, right? Like Hickman's such an amazing comic writer. Like they're all just like sad imitations of Hickman. Like so, it's fun, but it's not Hickman. Hickman was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody recently just about X-Men in general, and like even if you've taken like a slight break from whatever X-Men series you're pulling,
Right.
if you come back like an arc later, you feel like you've missed out on like so much. Like there's just so much going on in like the X-Men world in general, and there's just so many different parts playing in it. It's really hard to like hop onto it, and it's daunting to think of trying to read it all to catch up.
Yeah, I guess tomorrow they're going to be a big announcement. They're going to announce, you know, the new X-Men, what that's going to look like. I think it's going to reflect more of X-Men 97. I think it's going to be more fun, more superhero than mutant politics, right?
Yeah.
You know, Krakoa Age was really great. Game of Thronesian, which I thought was really cool. Like all the books that I liked, I can't pick them up. I used to pick up all X-Men. I just can't. Like I just can't afford it. Much like your Transformers thing, like I just can't. So I literally I read Immortal X-Men, which was like their political council, high council. I read Red X-Men because it had Magneto and it was in Mars. Like anything that's not connected to the real X-Men is what I read. So I'm curious to getting back in the regular title. I got on the DC front, I got Batman and Robin.
Nice.
I like Josh Williams. Book's been fun, and my last on my list is Blue Book.
Is this the new run?
This is the new run. Yeah.
What did you think of the first arc?
Gonna be honest, I did not enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. It's probably the weakest thing I've read from Kieran, but I did listen to an interview with him. The purpose of it is actually to make it into graphic novels to like. Remember when you were a kid and you really got into aliens for a little bit? Yeah. That's what it's made for. Okay. So once I figured out what it's made for, like I give it a little bit of a pass. I bought the first one because it was talking about, I'm a Granite State Punk guy. Eventually I'm going to have to get to one of the most famous alien abductions is the original arc of thing. It happened in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. You know, so eventually we're going to have to address that if I'm doing all these urban legends of Granite State Punk. I believe it or not, I haven't even read the first issue of this 1947, so this may be better. They're on issue 2. My pulls, I pull more than I can read every month, unfortunately. So I'm always a few books behind. I kind of catch up. Sometimes I'm like I know you're a big AWA fan, like the Madness. I haven't read a single issue of the 6. I hope JMS does me right. Ribbon Queen. I haven't read a single of the 8 from Garth Ennis. I'm sure he did me right. Haven't read it yet.
Both of those series are just so fun. And like, I love AWA because I don't feel like they put out a whole lot at once. Like there's just like, they might have 1 or 2 things come out in a week.
I think it's like $3 a month, right? Like it's not even, like 3 new books and then you got some of the old ones staggering,
Yeah. And it's just, every time I pick one up, I just really enjoy it. Like the team that gets put together to just make that comic creatively and the story, the art, all of it matches up just really good for that AWA umbrella, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you got a couple more?
No, we're done.
Cool.
I'm caught up.
That is just such a huge list. I would,
I mean, if you want me to open some Kickstarters, I got like 5 Kickstarters. Get over those. But.
No, it'd actually be really cool. Oh man, that would be really cool to do another episode with you just talking about like Kickstarter and like, because like there are people who read comics who do nothing with Kickstarter, who might not even know what Kickstarter is, but having somebody explain it and somebody who actually works with it, I think
Yeah,
that'd
and
be
I'd love
good.
to like there is book. So like anything, there is like the Rom V's and like the tyrannies like over there too. Like if you're in
Yeah,
the Kickstarter world, like here's the goats. Like here's a list. I'm like a minor goat. I would be like Steve Orlando, right?
yeah,
Or maybe who are the two the who's it? Let me think. Alex Pacquiao, the guy. Like people know who I am, but like I'm not a goat.
yeah, yeah. You just entered the farm, right?
Right. I'm there. I'm just not a goat.
Cool. All right. Well, my list is not as long as yours, but let's get into it. This one's from Matthew Gabella, The Agent, number 4. This has just been really fun because it's like kind of blending CIA, FBI stuff with like kind of the mystical aspects of Harry Potter's too much of a fluffy way to put it, but just kind of like warlock and
Yeah.
witch art and crossing over with just with kind of governmental and political stuff. It's been really fun.
Well, let
And
me ask
that
you a question. What
yeah,
made you get in a Blaze book? Because Blaze, when I think of Blaze, the only thing I think of is the can't think of her name right now. The Loveless, Maria Lovette. Is that her name? She does
yeah,
sexy books, a lot of sexy books for Brian's there. I think Loveless.
yeah.
Was it Loveless? I think so. Like that's the only person I think from Blaze because they do kind of like foreign books and then like translate them to American. What
That's
made you buy in a Blaze book? Like what was the
That's exactly the reason.
Okay.
Ablaze is kind of this really cool connection to the rest of the world of comics.
Okay.
I think the first one I really picked up was Boogeyman, and that was a couple years ago. And it came from a guy somewhere down in South America. I can't remember which country specifically.
Right.
But that whole series was just like really just really thrilling all the way through and exciting because it's about this boogeyman who's trying to save a child, and he's the oldest boogeyman in existence, and he's trying to like change his ways and like do the right thing. But at the same time, there's all these other like new generation boogeymen like coming after him and like trying to take his power. And they have like these certain things that they have to eat to gain power. It was such like a really cool take on the lore of the boogeyman and putting it into kind of like a fictional like situation, like
Right.
realistic situation. So I really enjoyed that one all the way through. I think that one was 7 issues, maybe 8. And I can't remember the guy's name who wrote it. Matthew something.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild because of Blaze, they're probably of the indie scene, right? Probably the lowest, of like
They're pretty low on the rung.
On the totem pole. And it's just interesting when I see someone who picks up in a Blaze book. I'm like, huh. Like, because I pick up a couple, but it's only people because I know them from, following their trends, much like you. I would never like AWA. I was all in early on for like the first 2 years. I bought everything,
Yeah. No, just that international connection is what I like about Ablaze.
Nice.
Just to kind of get a little outside perspective. And I got a little bit of Marvel today as well. I got Star Wars Mace Windu. I still haven't actually read the first issue because I like to let my Star Wars build up so that when I'm in like Star Wars mood, I can just read all of them.
Right.
I realize I could also just not buy the comic and just wait for it all to release on Unlimited, but I don't do that. I also got issue 4 of Arbone's Dust. This one's been interesting and fun. There's kind of, it seems to be like projected way in the future, like after apocalypse happens and humans have gotten really dumbed down and there's an alien race kind of exploring humans. And I think they're all cannibals as well. And it's just taking place in all this like kind of barren wasteland, like kind of like Mad Maxian wasteland.
Okay.
So that one's been fun.
Yeah, it reminded me. I didn't pick it up because it reminded me of Once Upon a Time at the End of the Earth, the Jason Aaron book.
Yeah.
And like I saw similar
Uh,
vibes, and I'm like, I'm already kind of reading a book in this vibe, so I'm just not going to pick it up because I already got one. But if I wasn't reading the Jason Aaron run, I would have picked it up.
Yeah, and that's a great Jason Aaron book to pick up if you haven't picked that one up.
So good. That second arc though is wild.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? I meant to ask you: are you going to jump on the Turtles with Jason Aaron? Are you gonna give it a try?
Yep, right. I already told my shop I want him. And for me, he was like the perfect person to take over the Turtles and kind of, it's a reboot, but it's not a reboot. I've heard of the Turtles.
Yeah. So right now in the Turtles, like I assume what's going to happen. There's this thing that's kind of eating time. I think they're going to like eat the universe, but it's still going to exist, like kind of reset the universe. They're going to save the day, but to do it, they're going to reset things to make it right. And, I'm sure that'll have bleed effects later, but I think in the start, it'll just seem like a clean reboot and then they'll go from there. Yeah, you can't with Jenica and all that stuff. I think that so many people love that stuff. That's got to be added or part of it,
Yeah. And Jason Aaron he's revived a lot of stuff for me. Like I can't say the Turtles have ever been like dead within my like fandom. I just haven't been reading all of the comics as they've been coming out. But like when he took over Thor, however many years ago, like he really got me back into Thor. Just go like and just even making me want to go back and read everything that was older. I just really enjoyed his whole run and all the work, and he did the Mighty Thor as well when Jane became Thor.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people know this. I actually talked to Jason Aaron at the last con I was at for a long time about this. The female Thor tripled Thor's sales, like higher than Stradinsky. Like it was wild. Like I know that there's a lot of our fan base that doesn't like it, and that's fine, but it worked and it stays up there. Thor is still one of the top tier books. It's like 5 or 6. Thor used to be like 11 and 12, like dying towards the end. It was a dying book. And since Jason Aaron has kept it, it's kept up. And I know like Donny Cates helps and like all these other things actually help it to stay up there. Alan Ewing's, keeps it up there. But he revolutionary changed the character and made it relevant again. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that because they're like, I didn't like Lady Thor. Well, thousands of people came to the shop to check it out. So you're clearly you're in the minority.
Yeah, no, I like what he does just liberally with his characters. Like he's not willing or he's not unwilling to like push past like boundaries and like
he'll break them to see what's under them and what makes him tick.
Next up here I got the One Hand issue number 2. So this is the one that like after I read the first issue I'm like, oh, there's a whole other series with it. I've been duped into it.
I'm so confused by this because I have both of them again, things I haven't read, but I thought there were one shots. It's a whole series? How many issues in it? Do you know?
I think each one is maybe 4 or 5 issues.
So it's a trade's worth of stuff, like 2 trades worth of stuff connected that you need to read both to get the full story. That's wild.
Yeah. So
I hope I don't like it, Matt. I hope I don't like it.
I really liked issue 1 of the One Hand. And I think Monk and I talked about this and like, but issue 1 of the other one, which is called the Six Fingers, just didn't hit the same. And it's not written by like this is written by Ram V. The other one I can't remember. Dan Water, yeah. And it just I don't know, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, but I want to read them again, like both issue 1s, and then kind of decide from there. But it is an interesting like concept of taking 2 different creative teams essentially. Maybe it's just the writers different for each one. I think the rest of the creative team might be the same for both. But just it's an interesting concept to me to have 2 different writers kind of write the same story from 2 different perspectives.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they really want you to have 3 experiences with writing that. So reading one as its own thing, and then reading them together and getting that extra perspective.
Yeah.
as a third reading experience. So it's fascinating. And this is stuff I love. I love unique writing things. So experiments in comics. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the greatest things about the comics medium is it's really fast produced. Like we could have like let's say January 6th, and I'm not trying to get political, you could have had a comic within 30 days of that completely done. If someone wrote a script on the 7th and 8th, had the stuff, could have written a whole comic. We're so fast. The only other people who I think are faster is news, but that's kind of boring. And then like the rap game, right? They'll do like this happened and they'll rap about it, do a quick mix, and like it's on YouTube and blowing up,
Yeah.
But in the art form, you can't write a novel in that time, right? You can't write a novel about it. That's going to be any good, anyways.
Yeah. No, novels take way too much time. And I got issue 5 here of Fish Flies from Jeff Lemire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think honestly going forward, because have you been reading any of the Bone Orchard?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think going forward, I might stick to just Jeff Lemire as himself. Like I love Fish Flies. I love when he does the whole thing, just him. And and I've liked his work with Sorrentino a lot, especially with Gideon Falls.
Yeah.
Bone Orchard just hasn't been like lived up to what I want it to be. And like I really like this latest series, the Tenement, something like that. I've really enjoyed that series more so than the rest of the Bone Orchard mythos.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, I may have like a different opinion.
I feel it's all those things. Like Black Hammer is the same way. Like you start out strong, you have this big giant universe, and then same thing at Radiant Black. Like you're like, wow, I'm so excited to be part of this big thing. And then you're like, do I really want to be part of this big thing? Like,
yeah,
all it takes is a couple of issues to sway you the other way, right? To go, I'll wait till the next good one or the trade. Or I don't need to read them all,
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. Like the Bone Orchard Mythos had a free comic book day issue come out before everything else released that I absolutely loved. Like it's still like just stands out in my mind when I think about it. Whereas the rest of them, other than this latest one, don't really stick into my mind very, very strongly. They're not as present.
They're not holding up.
What's that?
They're not holding up, so they're not lasting long, right?
Yeah. But we'll see as it goes down the road. Issue 44, Darth Vader. This is the one Star Wars that I keep up on the most. So I'll wait for an arc to finish, and I will immediately go and read that arc once it's all been released. The rest of it I do save up for May.
Well, I mean, Charles Soules is just killing it over there, right? He's still writing Darth Vader, right?
No, this is I don't know when this guy took over. It's Greg Pak.
Oh, I mean, Greg Pak's great Hulk writer, from years back. He was the one who took over right after World War Hulk. Absolutely.
Yeah, but Charles, the stuff that he put out for Star Wars, so good. Like,
I mean,
everything that was the majority of my reading. Everything he puts out is great. 8 billion. I was probably reading more of his work than anybody else for quite some time when the Star Wars was when he was on Star Wars. And I think he still is with Star Wars. I just think he's in a different aspect of it or writing a different series now.
Well, what I love about Charles Star Wars stuff, like he's very good at giving you some new things to think about without changing your characters, right? Because a lot of writers come in, they try to change your perspective completely. He doesn't do that. He's like, why don't you look at Han Solo from this point of view? From he was the one who did the ex-wife. Han Solo had an ex-wife before. I mean, it's scoundrel. That makes sense. Let's just look at it for a minute. Let's examine it. It doesn't affect anything you have. Let's examine it. I think he did a really good job.
And a lot of what he did really added to the characters.
Right. Exactly.
It gave them and I think if you go back to early episodes of Pull Box Files, I think that's kind of how I described it as he's given characters that we've known and loved our entire lives. He's just bringing more of a background story to them that doesn't challenge the status quo of what we know them to be.
Right.
And he did such a good job with that. So yeah, if you need some Star Wars material, go check out Charles's stuff.
Yes.
This one I thought came out a couple weeks ago. It's the Displaced from Boom.
I don't know when it came out. I meant to get it. I did not pick it up though, so I don't know if it's late. I don't know if my store didn't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe it was supposed to come out like last week. Maybe it just came a week late. I'm not sure. I can't honestly remember why I chose to pick this one up, other than I was looking for a Boom series that was starting up new, and I think that's the one that captured my attention. But I cannot remember anything of what the pub summary said about it.
Yeah, I think I'm running low on Booms myself because I used to do once upon a, what was it, the King Arthur one? What was that called? Once in Future.
Yeah, Once in Future. Yeah,
Once in Future. Yeah, I love that. And then I was like, oh, it's over. Like it's really over. He's not just taking a break this time. Like it's really over.
Yep, it's done. And then lastly, something from AWA. I got Little Black Book.
Yeah, that was the one that I picked up and was like, only because I know there's a whole bunch of cool books coming out from AWA that I've got to be buying soon.
Yeah. I had a little drought with them for a while, and recently, like really since the Madness and Ribbon Queen came out, I feel like I've been getting a lot more from them. But yeah, love AWA. Which one?
From what is it called? Hotel? Was it 2 L's?
Oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get into that one. I remember I can picture the covers of it in my head. Did you get that?
Yeah, if you I know you like horror stuff, you'd really like it. It's really, really cool. So it's written like this. It's written by every room of the hotel is a horror story. And then in issue 5, it all ties all the rooms together of why it would happen. And then he does it again. He does it again in the next arc a different way, but also ties the stuff in the first. Like it's really brilliantly written. John Lees is a fantastic writer. Highly recommend. Maybe you read his other one. Are you a wrestling fan? Did you read Crimson Cage?
I did not read Crimson Cage.
Okay. That was the other one. So that's another AWA one. That's Hamlet with wrestling.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
No, it's a retelling of Hamlet, not like it's inspired by Hamlet. It's a retelling of Hamlet, but using wrestling. It's wild.
That's awesome. I love retellings of classic things. But Animal Pounds are out right now, and that's a retelling of Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had it's not a retelling. There was that the Macbeth one that came out recently. It just came out as a trade, and it was like a horror version of Macbeth, but it wasn't necessarily a retelling and using a different era.
Right.
But well, hey, it took us a long time to get through those polls. So
yeah, sorry. That's the negative of having me on the show. I love comics, man. Like,
yeah,
I would spend double if I could afford it,
I would too. Yeah. Nah, if I didn't have to worry about the money, I'd probably buy every issue that came out.
Yeah, I just own a store and be like, all right, on my pull is everything.
Yeah. That's kind of the dream, I guess. Have your own store, pull in what you want to read, sell the rest.
I ran a store for a long time, and I got free subscription. That was part of the deal. I had a budget, but I got a free pull. And when that went away, I was so scared to go into my next comic store and go. He's like, well, what do you read? I was like, I read like everything. Like he's like, no, really, what do you read? No, I read everything.
Jeez. Gosh, yeah. That sounds like a good life. Well, yeah, we already mentioned it at the top of the show, and we're getting to it now. But Coins of Judas, the Gambler. Start by saying I loved it. Thanks for sending it over. It took me a little while to think about the Gambler because it had been a while since I read the first series, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, this is now diving into some stuff we already know, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I noticed the artist is different.
Yeah, we switched artists from Tyler. So the colorist took on the art duty, so he's now doing the full art.
Okay,
but yeah,
no, but art still solid. Loved it. It was a different interpretation of the characters, but still the characters, and I I really enjoyed it. I also love the detail right in the beginning, like when they're doing their bear fight training,
Right.
and like, and the brother just runs away crying. that detail, that detail in there, just like I was busting up laughing. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was exciting. It was exciting.
Yeah, I love the book. I tried. The only thing that I'm disappointed, and I can't figure out a way to do it in a comic. Are you a Snatch fan? Do you remember the movie Snatch?
Yeah,
I want the black guy who's taking away their armor. I can't think of his name right now. He takes away their armor at the airport, and he's in that initial scene. I want him to talk like a pikey. So I just added some stuff, but I wanted him to be like, "This is Perico Blue." Like, so I pushed all the words together, but there's no really way to make that work in comics, which is very sad. But one day I'm going to figure it out. Just because I didn't figure it out for this book doesn't mean I won't. But I want him to be a pikey and talk like a pikey really fast and stuff.
Yeah, no, I think a thing that I reference a lot in that movie is I like dogs.
I like dogs. I'm Perico Blue. Film Ma.
Yeah. He killed that. But yeah, I just, whenever people come up to like pet my dog or something, and if I like kind of vaguely know them, that's what I'll say. It's like, "Hey, you like dogs?"
I like dogs.
But yeah, do you want to kind of set this up? Maybe give the listeners a little background on the first run, because well, let me try with the first one. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's the Westergaard family.
Westergaard family. Yep.
Okay, so the first series, just Coins of Judas, starts off with Poplar Westergaard, and he got himself into a situation, and then years later we flash forward to his two children who were orphaned, and they are a family that goes like way back. I can't remember how many years, but they have a tie to the 30 coins of Judas, as we know is the silver coins that he was given by the Pharisees in the Bible when he betrayed Jesus. And they all are cursed coins, and they all have a demon attached to them. And so these kids are trying to collect them all.
Pokemon.
But I'm also, I guess I'm kind of learning that there's kind of you don't really want to collect them all, do you?
Well, we learned
depending on your intent.
Yeah, someone has collected them all, and we show what happens when you've collected them all.
Yeah. But yeah, but there's this kind of little blurb in one of those first two issues that mentions the legend of the gambler. And so now that's what we have here.
Yeah.
Is this backstory, and this is you want to take over from there? I don't want to give anything away that you don't want given away.
Yeah, no. So the Gambler is out. Comes out at the end of the month. You can order in previews right now, so make sure you order it at your comic store. You can also order. There's a collected edition of 1 and 2 that you can order. So it's not the single issues. You can buy it as one collected thing as 1 and 2.
Oh, that's right.
If you're going to the comic store. Yeah. That's coming out. Should be the end of this month, actually. So it should be like the 27th. Yeah, probably 27th. So you can get that collected edition if that's something you're interested in. But next month we have the Gambler coming out, which is really, really cool. The Gambler, we followed them. They heard of this myth of someone who may have a coin in America, so they travel to America to meet up with this person who may have the coin, and they learn the history of it. And it's a real place. So there's this real place out in it's a real story too. It's basically this tribe that flew from they're Mayans, and they went up to America. So it's a half Mayan, half Native American like culture that was formed. And this guy came and would gamble and win everyone and made them all their slaves. That's the real life story. They made them all their slaves. And he made these weird instrument like designs that are way ahead of the time that nobody can do. So if you look at it, I show some things on the map, but you can actually look up the town. It's these weird circle like housings that go deep into like kind of cavernous pits. Yeah. And he came and he won all these people supposedly to pass over. So we deal with that story in the book of what happened, what the real story of what happened with this guy. Because in real life, we don't know what happened. They all were doing that, and they all disappeared. They all went somewhere, and they were no longer there after they built all these structures, and the
That's
structures
crazy.
look wild. So we follow it. In issue 1, we learn a little bit more of the origins, and then we go to Vegas, where Matt just visited for issue 2,
Yep.
and we
I got real excited.
yeah, we go to Vegas, and we have a Vegas adventure. This is it's kind of the Gambler. It's very much John Wick. So it's very much a John Wick type thing. It's John Wick if you fight demons. A lot of fast paced stuff. A lot of weird lore and history. That you're trying to catch up. There's factions and groups and all that. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's kind of like we talked about Ghost Rider. It's what I would write. It's my superhero book. It's like a superhero like Ghost Rider type book. It has a universe. It has a family that we're following that are hunting these coins. And these coins, they're demons attached to them, but the demons are used to whatever you bought for the worst sins. So child slavery or prostitution. So the worst sins are bought with these demons, and they spawn, and they fight the demons, and they try to get these coins sanctified. And what happens when you do? And we see what happens. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And just the way that you've starting with the coins of Judas is already like a big well of folklore and just part of history of the world and all of that. And so like the whole first run was super fun, and I love where this one's going now that you mentioned that this is diving into some more like actual folklore and history that a lot of people probably don't know a whole lot about. I'm gonna share the cover here.
I learned about it, by the way, for everybody who's wondering. That's actually an exclusive cover. So this is not the cover that would be in shops, but this is the convention exclusive.
Oh, yeah. No, that's cool. I didn't even notice that at the bottom.
You can, I don't know, you may be able to get it on the Band of Bards website. I'm not sure, but you may be able to get it there. But.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
You can show them some of the pages. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be scared.
But yeah, so these are the two siblings here, and this is the person that in America they assumed had the coin. And let me get to my favorite scene. throws his sickle, gets the bear in the eye, and runs away crying. But yeah, no, like as you said, like the fighting in this is just fast paced. Even in the first series, like that was part of it. Like the enjoyment of it was just watching the two siblings just go blow for blow with all these people coming after him. And then what happened with the brother again? It like got part of his face torn off by.
We haven't said what happened, but there's a flashback in issue 1 that shows a little something that happened. We haven't explained it yet, but
yeah. And then I like this kind of bonding because like in the first series too, there's kind of a bit of estrangement between them.
Right.
And seeing this kind of this, what Dad said, keep it simple, stupid, like those things, like it's awesome. It's helping their characters develop. It's showing their bond growing again. I'm just, I really, really enjoyed all of this entire series. And I really, really like this new character.
Yeah, every issue we're going to add a little bit more of the mythos, a little bit more of the stuff. I have it all mapped out, of the factions, of the orders, because we throw names like I'm going out of style. Like I'm always leaving Easter eggs of things that are coming up in these things. We learned in the first one, they had magic. They had some magic powers. And in this one, they lose that magic power because those magic powers are bonded to Ireland. So this guy takes them away. So now we find out there's magic in this world, but they are not magical. They have magical items, and those magical items cannot leave Ireland.
Yeah. And he was there during that bear fight.
Right.
So
he's my pikey. He's just I could make it work. Like everyone who read the preview with it all scrunched together, because I wanted all the words scrunched together, just didn't like it. So
yeah, I mean, with what you got going with him, I really enjoyed him. I think he's a great introduction to this series. Just again, like it gives you so much like space in your future writing of this series. So looking forward to that. So Kickstarter is live and it's in preview right now.
Yeah. So if you want the previews, you just want to get the Gamble, the next 2 issues, order it from your previews, you get the next 2 issues. You do not need the first one to read the second one. It obviously helps, but you don't need going to Judas 1 to read the second one. We are going to give you the previously in the beginning. There are only 2 issue arcs, but if you want the trade, the trade's very special. So we've got a hardcover trade, we've got a collector's coin, we've got some exclusive stuff that we're only doing
collector's coin.
Yeah, you get your own coins of Judas. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. So we're only selling that. And unlike, my normal stuff, this is not by me. It's by my publisher. So I don't know how much is going to be available after the fact. Normally when I do stuff, I print a lot, but they may not. So I'm really encouraging people to buy it. And you can see some of the action pages. Did you get a chance to look at the Kickstarter?
I didn't even. I'm going to it right now.
Yeah, I'll just
look at it like earlier.
I want to show this section, like this right here, like these pages, like are really cool. These action pages. So, really want to get people to get excited about this book. Like it doesn't even look like the same artist. This artist is the same artist as up here. It's wild. So.
Yeah, no, it was such a fun read. The fight scene's excellent.
Yeah, this is what the diamond ones will look like. So this is cover A and B, and this is cover TND. Issue 2, 1 and 2.
I do like the slot machine one.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Who did the cover on that?
That's the same as the main artist, actually.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, he just did a different style for it. He's got a couple of different styles for the book. In fact, I have him drawing a different style for my book than his traditional style.
Yeah.
He's doing another book with me, which you'll see a different style. But I want him to be closer to Tyler with his art. And then in the next one we have a different artist, but we'll have the same colorist. Let me get to the trade just to show the cover. The cover of the trade is really cool too. Like I said, there's soft cover, hardcover available. So
nice.
So I think it'll be cool. So if you're a Kickstarter backer, that's the better way to get it. They'll both release at the same time, meaning if we've lined everything up. So if you were getting the Gambler at the comic store or you're getting the trade paperback, they will arrive at the same time. So
I think I do actually have that coming up in my pull list. I'm pretty sure I told my shop to pull that for me. Yeah,
you should be able to if you haven't, because it's not out of previews yet. So you may not have even done this one. It's for the next preview. It's for the preview that's live right now.
Sweet. Well, yeah. Kind of running a little short on time, but you want to shout out one comic you read last week?
From last week,
or within the last week. It could be something you read today.
I read a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to think of something not on my list that I really, really enjoyed. What did I read? I read so many things recently. You go first. What do you got?
All right, I can go first. I read this. It's another Ablaze.
You're a big fan.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten quite a few Blaze lately. This is Torpedo 1972. Basically it's about this I'm not sure. I know who the main character is, but it doesn't start out with introducing the main character till later on in the issue.
Right.
And he was a guy he was a killer for a mafia of some kind. It's 1972, like Godfather just released. Like that's the opening panel, is like that's what's playing at the movies right now is The Godfather.
Right.
And so there's this journalist and his fiance who's a photographer, and they're trying to track him down to get his story about these like murders. And it just seems like it's going to be a really nice look into noir.
Okay.
But I don't know where the guy's from who wrote it. But I think it's another like South American entry into the comic book world there, I guess, into the translated English comic book world. And it does seem like it's a take on kind of like that 1970s American idea of like what The Godfather was. So it's just, yeah. So I really enjoyed issue 1. Usually when it's a Blaze AWA, a lot of the indies, I usually stick in it for the whole arc. So
We appreciate that for anybody who's reading indie. We appreciate that.
Yeah, because like I have no problem dropping a DC or a Marvel if if I'm not into it after issue 1. So
no loyalty. You're done with them. They've let you down enough times. You can't
exactly. Yeah.
So I read. It's not out till next week, but I read advanced copy of Redcoat, the Jeff Johns book that's coming out with the Geiger, and I really enjoy that. It's crazy. Jeff. As Jeff Johns. So writers have done this twice to me. So did you ever read Scott Snyder's book? What is it called? I'm struggling. It's Everything's Dark. What is it called?
That doesn't ring a bell. Oh, it's not called Everything's Dark. Everything's
Dark.
I
think it's called Nocturnal. I think. What is it?
Oh,
what does he call it?
Noctera.
Noctera. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was writing a comic book that was literally that. Like, it's so literally that I'm not sure I didn't hear an interview with him that I forgot. Like that's how close it was to the writing of it. And then Redcoat, I am also writing a book that I've already actually got developed, is coming out, called The Federalist. That was very similar. So I'm like, I need to stop listening to pro interviews, I think, because I'm either stealing their ideas or I'm in the same zeitgeist as them, so I don't need to hear it. Luckily, Redcoat is different enough that I can do my thing. But it is really, really fun. So the Redcoat is about a British a guy who's in British America trying to assassinate the president with John Williams Booth. And he literally is a screw up, and he doesn't get better. Unlike normal books where over time they get better, he's just a scumbag, and it's continuous scumbag. And unlike like a John Constantine's character, he's not good at his job, so he'll like get himself killed, and he's immortal, so it's fine. So it was a hell of a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that one in my pull list as well. Yeah,
and Brian Hitch does the art, and man, Brian Hitch, I listened to an interview with him. If you've ever listened to an interview with him, he will blow your mind, because he's like, Dark Knight's like music. I'm like, and he goes, well, look at the panels. He switches every 6 pages. He'll do the TV reporters thing, which is 6. So it's 6, 5, 9, and he like counts out the panels like it's notes, like it's beats of a note for a song. And that's how he views comics. And I was like, no one has ever viewed comics that way. I'll send you the interview after.
No, please do.
I've never heard anybody describe comics like that. And he uses a couple examples. Dark Knight is the one I remember of like how they're beats, and he can name the beats, and it's the panel layouts of how they're beat. And then I looked at my work, and I was like, oh, I have a setup that I do too. Like Granite State Punk has a formula. If you read it, it will repeat the formula. And people do it subconsciously. I think when you get to a certain thing of writing, it's really interesting.
That is interesting. No, I definitely want to check that podcast out, or whatever it was. Well, cool. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No. I apologize for those guys who want Monk here. Monk has a certain charm I get. I'm sorry for those I let down. I did my best. I am no Monk. Apparently he's a rock star. So he's too good for Pull Box Pals today, but he'll come back after fame and fortune has let him down.
Yep. Crawling back.
I mean, cool. I'm not sure how much of a rock star you are if you're performing on a Wednesday night, but I believe in you, Mark. I believe in you.
Cool. And where can people find you?
Yeah, the best way to find me is travisgibb.substack.com. You can I'll tell you all about my comics and what I'm doing, and please.
Cool. And then I think I put it but yeah, you have Orange Cone Productions. I got that linked.
Yep, you go to orangeconeproductions.com if you want to buy anything.
Cool. And I'll get, if there's links missing in the description, I will get them in there for all of you. But yeah, let me tell people where they can find us, Pull Box Pals. Right now, you can find Monk somewhere in Pennsylvania playing some folk punk music. But normally you'll find him here on Wednesdays with me. We are the Pullbox Pals. You can find us at the Pullbox Pals on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok, all of it. Just all the social medias, Pullbox Pals. Drop us a line, comments on our stuff. We love having conversations about comics with anybody and everybody. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe or leaving a review. I learned that Spotify, you can like review podcasts now.
Oh,
Like you you can give it like 5 stars and it'll have like questionnaires like from me. It's just gonna ask if you like it. But you can leave a 5-star and like I guess it's got
is it
a
like
little
those
more
old letters that
interactive.
you'd send to a girl you liked? Do you like me? Do you like me? Like me? So,
Yeah.
like, do you really like me? Do you like me more than a friend? You keep asking that question a whole bunch of different ways.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna somehow get it so it ends up being like that old game MASH.
Oh, okay. You got.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do.
We have to kiss now. Oh, damn it! We
Oh,
did
dang
agree.
it. Yeah, everybody who came on today, thank you for stopping by and watching. If you're listening later, thanks for listening. And as Monk always loves to say, because he usually says these outros, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it is right now. Embrace your inner comic. And I wasn't ready with the theme song.
I go live free or die, because of the whole Granite State Punk. But yeah, you do you.
Yeah. All right. Later, everybody. I think that was my worst outro I've ever had. I felt
I'm more
very
worried that
jumbly.
Tyranny will find out that I said bad things about the Blue Book and won't like me anymore. So you guys
Well,
got that evidence.
we'll find out.